South Korea is reportedly exploring prospects of partaking in the G7 summit in France this June, following a formal invitation from the host. Now, this comes as Foreign Minister Cho Hyun is currently in France for the G7 Ministerial meeting. Our Foreign Affairs correspondent Oh Soo-young reports.
Seoul is reviewing whether to attend the Group of Seven Leaders Summit in June, after France invited the leaders of South Korea, India, Brazil and Kenya. The Blue House said Friday that Seoul is currently considering whether to attend, taking into account diplomatic schedules as well as domestic and international circumstances. The Elysee had extended the invitation on Thursday, with the intention of expanding support among key markets to address global economic imbalances. The announcement comes as Middle East tensions and energy risks are expected to feature prominently in discussions among advanced economies. Ahead of the Leaders' Summit, Minister Cho Hyun is attending the G7 Foreign Ministers meeting in France, holding a series of bilateral talks with his counterparts. According to Seoul's Foreign Ministry, Cho met with the US Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs Alison Hooker on Thursday. He expressed concern over the situation in the Strait of Hormuz and stressed that de-escalation is urgently needed to guarantee safe navigation for all vessels, including Korean ships, and to stabilize global energy and logistics supply chains. The ministry said Hooker welcomed South Korea's participation in international efforts supporting safe and free navigation, including backing the joint statement of 30-plus countries. The two sides also reviewed progress on commitments reached last year by their heads of state in a so-called joint fact sheet, including the recent passage of South Korea's special law tied to its US investment. They agreed to move quickly on follow-up working-level consultations on the security elements of the fact sheet, as talks have been stalled for weeks. Cho also held successive meetings with the foreign ministers of Brazil, Canada, France and India, as well as senior officials from the European Union and Germany. Topics discussed range from bilateral cooperation, energy security, and inevitably the Middle East situation. In talks with French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot, the two discussed preparations for President Macron's upcoming visit to South Korea. The Foreign Ministry says Minister Cho could meet his US counterpart, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's in Paris on Friday. The two could also hold a trilateral with their Japanese counterpart. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.